It is Friday. It's the 18th of October. I'm Monita Rajpal. This is CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. Our top stories today. A Norwegian citizen of Somali descent is being investigated as a possible suspect in last month's Westgate Mall attack. This is the man Norwegian and Kenyan counter-terror officers are investigating. Kenyan sources say they believe he may have ties to one of the most dangerous commanders in the Somali militant group Al-Shabaab. Well, Nema Al-Bagir has been talking to Kenyan security sources, and she joins us now from Nairobi with more on that. This is an interesting twist in this already very tragic story, Nema.
Well, it definitely gives you a sense, Monita, of quite how broad this network is. The suspect who is believed to have been involved in the Westgate Mall.
Nema, thank you so much for that. Nema Al-Bagir there live for us from Nairobi. We've got some breaking news for you right now. Security officials in Yemen say at least seven Yemeni soldiers have been killed in an attack in Abyan province. The officials said dozens of suspected al-Qaeda militants were involved in the incident Friday morning. Of course, we'll continue to keep our eye on that. Meanwhile, thousands of people in southeast Australia have been forced out of their homes as bushfires burn out of control not far from Sydney. Hundreds of houses, I should say, are said to have been destroyed, and at least one person has died. Well, let's get more on the conditions in Australia. Meteorologist Mari Ramos is at the World Weather Centre with those details. Mari?
Monita, so much going on here. The pictures are absolutely incredible, and what we were hearing. February. Back to you.
All right. Mari, thank you.
Sure.
Let's bring you up to date on some of the other stories we're following for you here at CNN News Center. Saudi Arabia is rejecting its seat on the UN Security Council. It says the council is incapable of resolving world conflicts, particularly the civil war in Syria. This comes a day after the UN elected Saudi one of the council's non-permanent members. Iraqi police say at least 34 people were killed in a series of car bombings and roadside explosions throughout Baghdad. At least 10 car bombs exploded. Police say many of them were set off at parks used by families celebrating the Muslim holiday of Eid. Edward Snowden says there's a 0% chance Russia or China got their hands on classified documents. The U.S. intelligence leaker told the New York Times he gave all his classified documents to the media before he left Hong Kong. Snowden is currently in Russia, where he's received temporary asylum. More protests are expected today against the deportation of immigrant families in France. Thousands of people filled the streets of Paris and other French cities on Thursday. A 15-year-old Roma girl and her family were sent back to Kosovo earlier this month, touching off the protests. A real-life drama unfolding on set for director Michael Bay right here in Hong Kong. Bay says a man attacked him while he was filming his movie Transformers: Age of Extinction. Bay says the assailant tried to hit him in the face with an air conditioning unit because he wanted money. Security officers subdued the man. Paramount Pictures says Bay was fortunately not hurt. You're watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. You are watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. I'm Monita Rajpal. A boost for the markets after figures show China's economy is expanding. The world's second largest economy powered ahead in the third quarter, delivering its fastest growth this year. Output was up 7.8% from a year earlier. CNN's emerging markets editor John Defterius brings us this report.
China's economic engine revved up again, but remains off the pace the world was accustomed to in the past.
The U.S. government shutdown, well, it's barely over, and lawmakers are bracing for yet another potential confrontation over government spending. Before that happens, though, hundreds of thousands of furloughed federal workers are back at work. National parks and museums are reopening, and members of Congress are promising to try to find common ground when they meet later this month to try to hash out a budget plan. Well, the budget is not the only issue facing lawmakers and U.S. President Barack Obama. Senior White House correspondent Jim Acosta joins us now from Washington with more on that. Jim?
Monita, well, a lot of people here in Washington were expecting the president to strike a bipartisan...
Thank you, Jim Acosta there from the White House. You're watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. He's a husband, a father, ship captain, and now a prisoner in a Russian jail. You're watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. In Russia, bail hearings continue Friday for more than 30 Greenpeace activists who've been held in a Russian jail for a month. But hope is dwindling that they'll be freed. The group, known as the Oct18, face piracy charges for protesting at an Arctic oil rig. One of those behind bars is the Greenpeace ship's American captain. Pakistani teenager Malala Yousafzai will meet Britain's Queen Elizabeth at Buckingham Palace later today. The Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh will host a reception for youth education and the Commonwealth. Malala, as you remember, was shot in the head by the Taliban last year after campaigning for education for girls. And just a short time ago, or just a short time from now, the Duchess of Cambridge will be heading back to work. She's to appear at her first solo engagement since giving birth in July. The Duchess will attend a workshop in London's Olympic Park to see how young athletes are benefiting from one of her charities. You're watching CNN News Center. I'm Monita Rajpal at CNN Hong Kong. Thank you for joining us. I'll bring you an update of the news headlines in just a few minutes.